Hi everyone, this
Hello.
is my dad, N. Actually,
Hi.
it's Bianca's dad as well. Say hi.
Hello. Thanks for making me uncomfortable as per usual.
No worries. So we kind of just,
I'm trying to look relaxed, but I'm not really
but
relaxed.
he's not relaxed. He's nervous. But say hello. Tell him he's doing great. See, people are watching. It's all
Is
great.
that what happens? Okay.
Yeah. So Dad's new to this, but we thought we had such a good response last week when we were chatting to Mum, and we have a father-daughter event coming up. So I thought, why not chat to Dad and see how we go? So just relax.
But this is my first live.
Yeah.
Live.
So you can't swear.
Not even shit.
No,
Okay.
not even shit. So, first question. When I was a teenager, how do you think our relationship was?
I would say, if I had to use a word, I'd probably say a little bit superficial.
Yeah.
I think, and this may be due to my own upbringing with my parents, and I compare my story a little bit to some others too, where we have the ethnic parents, the Italians, the Greeks, and how they came out. And the main thing was work. In my mind at the time, my job per se, as a dad, I just perceived it to be to go to work.
Yeah.
And work as hard as I could and for as long as I could and provide in that respect.
Yeah. I think that that obviously happens even these days a lot with mums and dads. But I even remember when I was younger that I didn't see you much. So I guess when we did, when I was younger, I guess it's that just daddy relationship. But then obviously as I entered into my teen years, it kind of, we distanced, and it was almost an intentional avoidance of, connecting with you or even having a conversation. Yeah. How did that make you feel? Were you aware of were you thinking, oh, it's puberty? Were you thinking, she hates me or what?
At the time, because I didn't have the awareness of what I didn't feel, I just thought that was normal. Yeah. So there was no guilt feeling or feeling like shit. What do I do? It was just the other factor to it was too, in our particular family, that Mum was doing such a great job as a mother. Yeah. And she excelled in that, and I was doing what I perceived to be a great job in my business and doing my job so well. And it was like it didn't overlap. Yeah. So when those issues came up, your teenage years and whatever else, it was like Mum's department. Yeah. Yeah, go to
Mum.
I know that sounds really pathetic. Yeah. As I'm saying it, it sounds terrible. Yeah. But if I rewind the clock, it's just that was my capacity at the time. That's
and also that was the way you were raised and the men in your life and your culture, right? And back then there was less opportunities for men to be emotional or vulnerable or open, especially towards more so their daughters. Absolutely. I would assume. Absolutely. Than now that we're trying to encourage that. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess, as I got older, and we kind of grew further apart. Yeah. What was the point where you thought, this isn't good, I've got to change something, I've got to put in the effort to, try to build a connection before maybe I turned 18 and moved out and you never saw me again? Or was there a point that you remember that you were I need to make a more of an effort or to change something?
I thought you said they were going to be easy questions. Yeah. I don't think there was a point. I think it evolved. I think we reached, and even when I was talking to my other friends with similar backgrounds, similar families, whatever else, it was the slow but sure realisation that, hang on, we think we're doing our job, but if we don't evolve and get involved, we're going to lose all connection. Yeah. So I think there was not at the beginning, but later, as I was becoming more aware of what was happening and sort of growing personal growth myself, it's if I don't make the effort and regain those connections, I'm going to lose.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose it altogether.
Yeah.
So that bit of fear factor makes you react.
Yeah. And so, like, when you acknowledge that and you notice that, what types of things did you try to do to build a connection with me or change the way that our dynamic was? Because I can't remember like the exact moment.
No,
but obviously
but
obviously there were small changes that happened along the way to bring us to where we are.
Well, up until that point, in my mind, like my work, my business was number one, and everything came after, which sounds a terrible thing to say now, but it was, and it was when I realised I had to change that. I still business is important to me, and I still love it, but I had to make room for the more important things. And we started to, if you recall, we started to go on the odd holidays, even because there was four of you, and I sort of also guessed that we're all fighting for attention. There's four of us. So there was a combination of, we'd sometimes do things with six of us, sometimes five of us. But then I'd also make a point of, particularly recently when you and I have gone on a dinner date, just one-on-one time, or went to Sydney, like three of us at a time. I'd intentionally break it up to get a bit more quality time. Yeah, and I think it's important, even especially as a father, not to underestimate the time spending with your individual kids, or even just not all of them at once. When I look back, there's certain things that are highlighted to me, and that although it was fun when we were all together, a lot of those times are either, me and another sibling, or me and Bianca and you, or me and you. And that's not to say that I didn't enjoy the times we were all together. But I think especially as a father, because your attention is, with work or whatever, when you do get that one-on-one time, I think that really stands out. And even though we went, like we did go on some dinner dates, that was only later, but I wonder how that, I think that's highly recommended. Oh, absolutely. Because it's looking back, they're probably the most special times you can remember. I remember when I took you out on the motorbike, just you and I. So you're going to remember those things, because that was one-on-one. So we probably didn't do enough of that. But that was like the best times. That was just so good. And I think also, like, as a dad, to take, your daughter out to do something that is of interest to her, of course, is going to, like, encourage her to partake. But also you can bond over something that she likes. The important crossover, especially recently, was when I have shown genuine interest in what you do, what your life's about. I'm very curious as to everything. So that's been an absolute game changer from a parent point of view. And I do the cycle. Like, I'll be driving home and I ring Bianca, you, Steph, Andre on cycle, and just to keep in touch with your world. Because if I don't, I become obsolete, which is not what I want. And I think also, like you said, not to underestimate, just that general conversation, even if it's 5 minutes, like about her day or anything like that. Like you said, when someone shows genuine interest, it starts to build that connection, even if it's not about anything important. But I'm surprised that what's really surprised me is that because I was all about going to work, doing whatever, and giving you whatever I could. Whereas the most important thing that you needed, and this is for all parents, is just time. Presence over presence. Yes, 100%. But I didn't, like, at the time, like, you did what you had the tools to do and what you understood at the time. And I remember even Stefan now, my brother, who he's got a 1-year-old son, and he said, like, Levi's taught him so much because all he wants from him is just time. He wants his attention, he wants his time, not so much, what he can give him. But it's interesting because as you say that, I see it as a generational thing, because I look at my parents. And they have taught me, and I say this respectfully, I love my parents, they have taught me what not to do. And then Stefan's looked back when you guys were young and has also learned what not to do. What not to do. So we educate in a wrong way from not wanting to become our parents and take away the good things. But what surprised me most of all is that in my mind I'd thought that time is one thing when you guys are young. But I was astounded to realise the realisation that even as you guys get older, all that you really want is our time. And even me at my age, all that I want is that interest and time for my parents. Actually know what my parents know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So,
I think just from my perspective, you know, one of the biggest things that's changing these days between fathers and men in general is that opportunity and almost encouragement to be open and vulnerable. And I think Bianca and I always say, you know, growing up, it was, you know, you were the bread maker and you'd go to work and you'd come home and everything was fine and you'd go for a run and you'd do this and that. But I think recently as we've all gone on our own, you know, spiritual journeys and developed, you know, a bit more into a deeper human being, I think really our connection's grown since you've actually been open and honest. Like, no, I didn't have a good day. Like at one stage I thought I was going to lose the business. Like I thought I would have to sell the house. I didn't know where, you know, and my next paycheck was coming from. And I think now, not so much younger, we wouldn't have appreciated that. But I think now as adults, we really appreciate to be like, oh, well, we're not actually doing too bad. Like, because, you know.
But you guys just smashed that into me.
Yeah, we smashed it into you.
Every opportunity you get.
Self-help books. No, I think
Yeah, no, that's good.
To be like, you know, not everything's perfect. Because I think always.
But I never knew, like, you know, people, vulnerability is a strength.
Yeah.
I was never vulnerable.
Yeah, no.
Like, this is
up
this
until
is how
recently.
It was because that was my upbringing.
Closer.
That was my upbringing.
Yeah.
And I'm about to change that. Like, I'll now go up and hug my dad. Who sort of freezes and goes, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
But now he's accustomed to it.
Yeah, like, and I think just society generally is changing for men as well. Like, you know, and even as a man, as a father, to tell your children that you love them is the first step. There's a few of my friends that are like, oh, my dad's never said I love you. And I think that that's just the first basic, because either consciously or subconsciously, as they grow older, they're going to mirror that in their own relationships. They'll find it really difficult to connect, really difficult to tell people who they truly love that they love them.
But I do believe that's in the changing.
Yeah.
And that is, and I keep saying generational. Like even before when you use the word breadwinner.
Yeah.
When you use that word.
No,
but that was our
changing.
Defined role.
Yeah.
And it's terrible. We have to evolve out of that.
So just to wrap up, what's your like one biggest lesson in raising girls?
In raising girls.
I really sprung this. This wasn't on the question list.
we probably, the biggest lesson is we don't always have to fully understand. But we need to be there supporting and give you our time and give you our undivided one-on-one. What do you want to call it? Attention presence. Or presence. Presence. We just have to be present, and sometimes just to listen. Like we don't, as you guys get older, you realise that as parents we certainly do not have all the answers. And we shouldn't pretend that we do. So if we're just there, if you're going through whatever, I may not fully understand it, so I just need to be there to listen. Give you a hug. Tell you I love you. And those sort of things, which at the time we didn't think to have those tools. And
I think also that's the really nice thing that we have started to learn, like you and Mum say so often now, like us kids are now teaching you. And I think you should never underestimate what the next generation can teach you, because I believe, you know, the world has kind of lost it a little bit, but I think that this generation and the next generation is going to be amazing humans, and we're going to, you know,
well, you've triggered something
re-inspire the world. So
as you've said that, there was a moment, if you had to choose a moment, where I've sat there. I remember this a few years back. And I've sat there and I thought, we're not going to swear, are we?
You can swear.
I thought,
no, not.
I thought, shit.
Yeah, you can say shit.
These kids are actually so much smarter than me. And it's like, now what do I do?
Yeah.
And that was a defining moment. Yeah. It's like, you know, the intuition I see in you guys, the knowledge, the spirituality, the understanding of the real world. Just blew me away. So that was a big
I think that's a big one. You know, your kids can teach you so much. Even, you know, there's no honesty like a toddler or a young child. But like I said, I really believe that my generation is going to be raising amazing humans. And I think, you know, as we get older, the society will, you know, rebirth itself. So I think really just just being open and honest from the very start, and being there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I also believe this is like every generation in their own different ways says the same thing.
Yeah.
So when your turn comes, you'll be faced with new challenges and new things, new technologies, new whatever.
Yeah.
That you'll look back in 20 years' time and say, oh, if I'd known this back 10 years ago, this is how I should have reacted. So you can only do the best you can.
Yeah.
And if you share that with your kids, that like I'm a human being as well. We don't have an instruction book on how to raise you.
Yeah, I think that's what you learn a bit later, but perfect.
Yeah.
Well, you did well.
Pretty stressful.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, me. Yeah, we can do it again. We're going to do it with Bianca and us. So just to let you know, the Big Sister Experience and Miller from the King Collective, we are doing a father-daughter event. We're so excited. Dad is actually coming. He didn't know that, but he is going to be there. It's going to be an amazing day. We're going to be releasing tickets very soon, but save the date. It's on Sunday, the 1st of December. And we're very excited. So we're going to give you all these details. If you're away, you have to cancel that. All right, so thank you so much. We will be live again next week. We're starting to do this like little chat time Tuesdays. Who's going to be the guest? I don't know. We'll see. We'll keep you on your feet. But thanks, Dad.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye. There we go.